we have 150 acres that are in the city limits. The north side of the road is agriculture, is zoned agriculture something or other. The south 80 acres is zoned as a strip of commercial and 2 different kinds of residential on the south. It's always going to be agricultural. And so I don't know why you want to add more residential by taking George, changing George and Bonnie's land. I just don't understand if there's any need for it at all. That's it.
Would anybody from planning and zoning like to speak?
Sure.
I'll talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm one of the newest ones on planning and zoning. And I did a lot of talking at the planning and zoning meeting. And George happened to see me do my job by taking pictures of and walking all of the south border of our community. I know where the fences are that they talked about. I know their concerns about their 3 seasoned rooms in the golf course, and their understanding about the woods to the east where they can watch the deer and all this. I understand this totally. Basically, all this R3 does is give the ability for people to build under our code without doing a lot, going by this 10-acre rule. Letting Brian and Karen Menser build on the properties that they bought from the Glasses, which as of right now they can't build. One thing that I've read in the materials that I was given in the last year from the planning and zoning training that a lot of the members went to before me is spot zoning, and is kind of a no-no. So basically we looked at a lot of things. We looked at going north in case by chance we would annex to the north to Highway 20. We talked to landowners up there. We talked to people that are building on South 10th or South 5th, excuse me. We talked about the situation that happened in the South 16th in regards to the sewer and things like this. And a lot of things go. Right now is if we would go and rescind these rules and go with the 7,500 square feet, you can't put a septic tank. You can't put a leach field. You can't build a house on that small area. And another things that we've been talking about is it all goes back to community and money. The ideal thing would be to loop a sanitary sewer around the south end of the community, especially since we're going to be putting a new sewer system and sewer plant in. Same way with water. But we don't have the money. And I guess the biggest things in reading that I've read in my material is we have to foresee things. We can't go and, well, I'm going to sell this parcel of land, so I'll go to the planning and zoning, we'll have a public hearing at P&Z, we'll have a public hearing at the city council and things, so we can spot zone this area. I don't think that's right. I think as community fathers, we need to look at a vision. I was born and raised here in Sac City. I made a commitment downtown, and I'm going to stay here in town. And I think we need to use some forethought to grow our city. George made a comment, probably the biggest one. He can benefit with what we are doing or trying to do. It's up to him if he wants to sell that property or not. Not up to me or Sharon, Shirley. It's up to George and Bonnie.
Thank you, Steve. Council members, do you have any questions? Any further discussion?
I think we certainly should look into that 10-acre rule and see if that's really necessary. Secondly, if a landowner has land, has no intention of selling it, I think we need to accommodate the needs of individual systems or citizens if it's revenue neutral, which I think this is. And certainly we've gone this long without, let's say, George's property being residential. I think we need to certainly consider accommodating that need, looking at the 10-acre rule that we presently have, how necessary that is, and reconsider that, portion of the plan here.
One thing I haven't heard mentioned here tonight is that we are required to have a comprehensive plan on file in order to have zoning ordinances on the book. Our last comprehensive plan was put together in 2003 with Region 12's help. At that time, and that has been presented to the P&Z committee previously, at that time the projections and expectations is that eventually that piece of land would be marked for residential purposes. Now, of course, I don't think one person here tonight was on the council at that time, and I know things changed. But I wanted to make sure that you were aware of it, that the comprehensive plan that we currently have does have that as an expectation.
What purpose do we see out of this? I mean, if Mr. Glass doesn't have any intention of selling his other 19 acres of that 20-acre parcel, because Brian has an acre of that, is that correct?
Correct.
He has an acre of that. He has no intentions of that, and it's in Ag 1 right now. What benefit do we get if he has no intention of selling it by making it R3?
Well, right now, as it says it's A1, Brian can't build.
Correct, but
Okay.
there is, even though it's not encouraged, there is a way to spot zone that, correct? And even though it's not encouraged, recommended to do that, it can be spot zoned.
Yes.
Well, it's my understanding if that's contiguous to a residential area, that makes a big difference. I don't know.
Just let me forewarn you, Brian, that if we spot zone that area, we've already had 2 or 3 other people in with certain areas in there in the community that they would like to have spot zones too. And we said we don't make a practice of doing this because it's not for the benefit of the community.
Are they already zoned, Shirley?
Yes.
Then if they want them, did they look at them on this new map?
Yes.
Did you incorporate them?
But you don't. Did I what?
If they contact you about those changes, they want to change.
People just come in and just say, I want you to spot zone this area, just this lot, just right here. And we go, well, it'd be like me coming saying, I want, where my building is out here, I want that spot zone in 1, and I want you to do it now. Would you do it?
Bring the industry in, yeah, we would.
Is the Curtis,
Has anyone on the council been approached by anyone that wanted to spot zone their property? Adam,
Fast forward
Mayor,
years.
anyone?
I am not.
I would ask if Brian's house is in the 20 acres that you might consider working with.
Do you have any thoughts of selling any more of that land over there?
Well, the way things are going, I wish we hadn't sold that.
Wish you wouldn't have bought it.
I think our thought was,
Well, this is a disaster.
I can.
Do you want development in the community or not?
I understand.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to have a 10-acre rule to begin with. That's the thing that I think got slipped in unnoticed. I just can't imagine that.
It's there,
It doesn't
and
make
you have
any
to work
sense.
with it. I mean, it's
Yes,
there.
sure, I understand that. But my understanding, it's easier, because he's contiguous to a residential area, that lot is, it would be easy to do that. Now, your question. I suppose there's a possibility we would consider some in that spot, but not anyplace else but there. And that's the reason why we proposed that as a compromise to the Planning and Zoning Committee at the time.
That would include that, then, and any other future issue that if you decide to sell some land
Yeah.
on that.
Can we make a motion to do that?